What? Dude reminds me a little bit of Trump. Just when I was about to be out, you pull me back in. What's up, everybody? I am back to react to Tiger King episode 5. I honestly have no idea where this show's going or what this episode could entail. I'm assuming it might have something to do with Doc Antle, considering that episode 3 was all about Carole, episode 4 was all about Joe. And I'm assuming Doc is kind of the other main character. Episode 2 was kind of a Doc Antle episode. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm trying to guess what's gonna go on in this crazy show. So I will just go ahead and hit play.
It wasn't the zoo anymore. It was nothing but a big scam. Jeff conned everyone. Now this man has got more criminal shit going on than you can imagine. Well, sooner or later, he's going to jail.
Sooner or later, he's gonna be eaten by a tiger. Make America exotic again. You know, I was not gonna say this because I was gonna try to keep politics out of this, but here we go. Dude reminds me a little bit of Trump.
Jeff somehow seduced Joe by hook and crook. Joe fell in love with the premise. Joe handed over the keys to the kingdom to prevent Carole from taking the keys to the kingdom. And then through that, Jeff proceeded to try and circumvent Joe's opportunity, authority, and separate him from his wealth, in my opinion.
Jeff Lowe fired half the staff when he walked through the door.
I had a guy who worked for me for years, a great guy. Alan was kind of a transient all of his life. Great worker and very, very loyal.
Jeff talked me into giving him $14,000 to open a pizza restaurant.
You can sit down on the patio right next to real-life tigers, and you can have some of the best pizza.
Joe told me several times,
Says people don't come here to see the tigers, they come here to see me.
That's a pretty good impression.
Joe Exotic is how many people know him. He mailed off this form to the Federal Election Commission last Friday, announcing his intent to run for president as an independent.
Check, 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 check.
Whenever you're ready.
What?
Hello, America. Joe Exotic for the people of America.
Joe Exotic is truly the candidate you'd want to sit down and have a beer with, and then several more beers until you're drunk enough to try meth for the first time.
Whenever that clip went to John Oliver, Joe got a big head.
Love to party and have fun.
Hello.
Let's go blow some shit up.
Blow some shit up.
Anybody that wants to threaten...
Maybe don't say that if you're trying to run for president. I'd question your foreign policy, just saying. You don't need those codes. Case in point.
Joe Exotic for president was 100% a complete and total publicity stunt.
When that fell apart, he decides to run for governor.
I was a manager at Walmart at the time, and he'd come in and buy bullets, like every day, damn near.
Are we just completely ignoring what happens to all these tigers when they're fully grown? We like dabbled in that for a minute with Doc Antle. If you need bullets every day.
Become our state's next governor.
You are a political anomaly. And on Twitter, you know, you're not afraid to respond to viewers with expletives.
When people are running
Sounds like someone else,
you know.
I'd like to introduce my wife, but my husband's at home feeding my brand new baby kangaroo. I always wanted to say that.
No one there finds that funny.
was less government, less spending, less bills.
Anti-cyberbullying.
That they're introducing into Congress this year.
You literally did that to Carole.
Safety Act. The only problem is it's all a fraud. You're spending millions trying to decide whether or not I should own a fucking tiger or not.
This is a sweeping federal bill. It will cover all of those states, and nobody will be allowed to be keeping these big cats.
Carole, I really want to like you.
Breeding them or using them as
because this, I agree with that this should be passed, but I don't like everything else about you.
Joe turned into a little bitch, griping and complaining about Alan every fucking day. Joe would ask him to do something if Alan thought it was stupid. And he'd say, fuck you, Joe, I don't work for you, I work for Jeff. I think Joe thought that I put Alan here as a plant to report back to me what was going on. Alan wanted to take Joe out. He hated him that much.
Unimaginable, man. He was hateful. Call your names over the radio. It did not just me, anybody.
There was just a lot of burnt bridges, man.
The fucking staff tried to get me killed in a cage. They put cologne on my shoes.
And this cat was sniffing at his shoes. And
oh, you really did that?
Okay, well, first of all, you haven't recognized the rest of us 40 people that are running.
She was just...
You know what? You're dumb for getting in there in the first place.
It goes on. Ow, son of a bitch.
Stop hitting her.
And nobody helped me. Nobody.
He came out with a story. Somebody put something on my shoes to get that cat to attack me.
If I were gonna, if somebody wanted to kill you, then they would put like sardine oil all over you, something that the cat wants to eat, not something the cat wants to drool on. Because the perfume, that's all they want to do is just drool all over it. They're just like,
It's very specific, Carole.
His mood swings are significant.
He didn't care who he hurt.
I don't know how much love was involved, but I'm sure it was the cars that he bought John Finley, the guns he bought John Finley, the four-wheelers he bought John Finley. And I think that's how he kept them close to him.
I've always been worried about you being a spy. Run! I've had my days of coke.
What
I had
the
my days of drinking. I had my days of meth.
We call it meth mouth.
Meth was the main one that we did.
Travis, he would always say that he wanted to go to the strip bar with us, but he said Joe would freak out if he ever left the property. I mean, he told me with his own mouth that he wasn't gay.
What?
Travis was banging every girl in the park. And I found out later, John Finley came out and said, I'm really not gay. I've been sleeping with the girl at the front desk, and we're going off to get married.
Wow.
I think the saving grace in that situation was Travis. Joe still had Travis.
You guys edit this shit. I want you to show it to him. He maybe asked me what's wrong, but he only spends 5 seconds listening, and then he'll walk out on me. Is he trying to make me blow my top? I don't know.
Travis came into the office and started complaining to me that he was a prisoner, that he was never allowed to leave the park, he wasn't allowed to get a job, all this was true. And frankly, he was upset that he didn't have enough pot. He'd always pointed guns at people all the time out there at the park. Sometimes he'd wake you up pointing a gun at you. So he had done that to me again in that office that morning. And I told him, dude, you know not to point guns. And he said, oh man, this is a Ruger. There's no clip in it. You know a Ruger won't fire without a clip. I was sitting in a chair, looking at him when he put the gun to his head.
No. Oh my God.
It's not like on the movies.
I'm goddamn the best people. I've known them for 4 years, man.
We're going to try and make this not a day of mourning, but a day of celebration to celebrate the life of Travis Michael Maldonado. And everybody that works here knows exactly what I'm talking about, because you've seen his balls. They were like golden nuggets to that boy.
Are you singing along to a track?
Just do a show wherever he goes, whatever he does. He was even acting there.
Joe changed when Travis shot himself.
I do this every year. Please, Lord, look out for those who are spending this holiday alone without their loved one and are going through the same rough time.
I can't tell when he's being genuine and when he's not.
Amen. I am third in the polls right now out of 12. Yes.
It was after Travis's death that Joe really completely lost it. I told Lauren, I said, you know what, if he wants to run this zoo, we have to get away from here. I said, because I'm gonna kill this guy.
He decided he wants to stay in Vegas and try and make money out there. He talked a sponsor into buying a bus, and they called it the Jungle Bus.
Like a party bus with animals.
He could actually haul people from casino to casino.
What happens to those animals when they get too big to go on the bus?
That was a big fucking mistake.
Get Prince Albert in there.
Ew.
Oh, hell.
That drawer, clean it.
I'm gonna get the curls out, because that's my fit repeal.
How many fringe jackets does one need? How old is that guy?
When Travis died, he didn't give a fuck about the campaign, about his family, about anything. All he cared about was that he find a companion, and he was not satisfied until then. When he found Dylan, he started to bounce back.
Oh, jeez.
2 months after my son died.
2 months?
I married Dylan. Invited me to the wedding.
Biter. It's gross.
Joe Exotic makes just as good a governor as we ever had.
You know, he's not afraid to say what he wants to say and do what he wants to do.
Is accurate? It's more than I expected.
We fucking lost.
I think that's where he kind of lost his path as far as what was the priority.
The only character in the show that
Everything was falling apart.
Like, he was already a paranoid person, throwing people out, accusing them of being spies and stuff. But the paranoia was not unfounded. We found a microphone and antenna on top of the gift shop roof. It was about that tall, you know.
Just when I was about to be out, you pull me back in.
That's when I knew that there was something serious going on.
She told me, she says, I hear Joe's under some kind of federal investigation. And that was...
I got it.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
So we just interviewed Jeff Lowe, and the entire time he had incoming calls from a federal agent over and over. He told me that Joe's going down.
I mean, it was sort of funny when we started, but it's got really
Was it?
dark.
I don't think it was ever funny. Oh my god. I don't even have an analysis. I said at the beginning of this episode, I think, like, I have zero idea where this show was going, and this episode definitely did not go in the direction that I expected. This just continued down the Joe Exotic spiral, and oh my, I don't know whether to feel bad for him or not. I'll tell you who I do feel bad for, though, is the tigers and the animals. I don't know, I'm curious to hear what you guys thought when you were at this stage in the series. I know most of you probably binged it, and I wonder if I had just, like, sat down and watched it normally, if I would feel like this is just a natural progression, but it's like very overwhelming. Just like everything that's going on, it's like I can't even fully process it. I said in one of the earlier episodes that I wasn't quite sure really what the filmmakers were trying to present. I don't think they're taking a side. I think they're just trying to show how truly, truly, truly messed up these sort of subcultures of America's population can be. And everybody's kind of quote unquote a bad guy, and like who's responsible for this, right? I mean, is it government for not being involved enough? But then it's like, that's also bad if government's too involved, and that's not their fault that some people are being dumb about certain things, and it's a lot. You guys, I didn't sign up for this. I'm not good at dissecting all of this stuff. But that's just where my head's at. So I'm gonna go watch something lighter, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this series. Be sure to hit subscribe and turn on your notifications, and we'll see you back here for episode 6.